Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having as good of a PoE 2 early access as you can. I'm making this video to sort of talk about the build that I'm playing right now, and more or less talk about my thoughts in early access, because I woke up and I had these moments of clarity where I was able to collect my thoughts, and I'm making now this video to sort of go about it. The build I'm playing right now is an Archmage Spark guy, but we'll go over that in a bit. First of all, this is my fourth build that I've played so far. So I've done the campaign a total of 4 times. I've played a Summoner up to yellow maps. I've played a Monk, Invoker up to red maps. I have made another Sorceress, and I got to maybe at the end of Act 3 Cruel. That was my very first character, actually. And then I made another character, and it's this guy. It's a Stormweaver now. It's level 89 now, playing Spark. So, you know, my first thought about this is that, you know, when I got into this game, I tried to ignore as much info as I could from PoE 2 to really get into the game fresh, not knowing anything, and just discover stuff as I go. I know that sounds kind of insane for the game, because a lot of the game's basic systems are the same, really, right? So a player that has played PoE 1 will usually have a better time in PoE 2 than a brand new player, right? Because this game did get a lot of hype. But I can tell you right now, from my perspective, dude, I am over with the acts, so over with the acts. Especially, dude, this build, leveling this build as a sorceress, I was not able to equip Archmage until level 58. Dude, I had 58 levels of grueling leveling, where I died like 60 times in the campaign, man. I was doing no damage, I was dying to everything. It was horrible, man, it was horrible. Until I got to level 50 and I just tilted. I spent like 50 exalts on a bunch of rares that I could equip. And all of a sudden the game became really easy. But yeah, having to do that, while I don't mind it, that's alright, it's fine. You know, it's something that I've just accepted as I play trade, is that, you know, if I can fix the problem through trading, I will. If I can't fix the problem through trading, then it's probably a skill issue on my part for most of the time. That's the campaign. Now we get into maps. And this new Atlas endgame system is interesting, right? So I understand that it's an early access and stuff isn't finished, but stuff here is like very, I don't want to say bland, but it just feels like a last epoch monolith system, but like somehow worse or better. I don't know, it feels very similar. Kind of just pushing through this whole area. I've been doing maps, by the way, so I haven't found a single like boss citadel, I think they're called, or whatever, like these. I've been doing tier 15 maps for like a day now. I still have not found a single boss citadel. It's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. But my experience varies, right? So I have a friend who has found like 20 of them, and he says, though, I don't know, he just goes in one direction of the Atlas and he finds one, and it's like, oh well, I guess I'm just bad. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just bad. Yeah, getting to the endgame bosses should be made easier, in my opinion. There has to be some sort of clear path. There has to be, you know, as soon as you get near by like 3 screens or something, something pops up and tells you, hey man, if you keep going this direction or in this direction, there's gonna be a dangerous guy there. So go there with your own risk. So at least, you know, give me some sort of guidance. Give me some sort of, okay, you haven't found it yet, but you're going in the general direction of the Atlas. So that's even if I keep clicking these nodes, right? And keep doing maps. it doesn't feel too bad to do. Besides that, mobs, you know, just killing stuff. Now that I'm playing Spark, right, it feels fine. But when I played the Summoner, it was nice. I still hadn't gotten to the whole, you know, 30k ES Grim Feast unkillable Summoner states, but my Summoner was in a state where it was nice, it was fine. It was playing the game, was hardly dying. However, I mainly stopped playing Summoner because I'm not gonna lie to you, the clear wasn't very good, and the performance issues. Like, there are already some rares that explode, drop your FPS so much, and I had like 11 or 12 arsonists or something, and it was bad, dude. It was bad. I would spend a whole minute or 2 minutes in a map at like 30 or 35 FPS, and I know people would say, oh, that's fine, the game is running smoothly enough. I don't know, man. Like, I like my games to run at, like, you know, at least over 60 FPS if possible, consistently. And I understand that I don't have the best of PCs, right? It's like I have 5800 X3D and the 2060 Super. But man, everything is on low quality and stuff. Come on, like, it's a bit weird. You open a breach, you spend the whole breach at like 40 FPS. It feels like the better your build gets at killing content, the worse performance you get in this game, because you just kill more monsters, and there's all sorts of on-death effects going out and stuff. And it's just a bad time. It's really just a bad time. Besides that, you know, making currency in the Atlas, like I'm not making much currency. You know, every single 100x or so or divine I get just goes into an upgrade instantly, trying to make my character better, which I've been making it better, right? My character is feeling pretty good. The people are now finding, you know, ingenuities. They're finding all these, you know, high chase uniques, high value chase uniques that they have to divine to get perfect trolls and stuff. So divines are going up in price so much, and they went from being like 10x per divine to like 63x per divine in like 2 days, and the whole market got completely fucked because the trade side still hasn't caught on, and it still prices divines at like 10 exalts or like a bit less. Maybe like you would see an item listed for 15x after an item that's listed for a divine, and which is really weird, right? Because Alva has the correct ratios, right? Like if I say I want divine orb and I have exalted orb, like Alva has the correct ratio, it's 68 to 1. So if they have this ratio in game, surely there has to be a way to have it in the trade side, right? Like I'm not some sort of programmer or something, like I don't know the specificities of making this happen, but you know, surely it can be done. It would make it better, man. It would. I think it's one of the things that is low-key really important to fix, because when you have a bunch of people, like a bunch of new people trying to get into trade, and they go and they don't have any rarity in their guild, they don't. Oh, dude, that's something else. Oh my god. Oh yeah. They go to the trade sites, and they have like 20-30 exalts, and they want to, you know, buy something, a nice upgrade for them. You know, someone now has 30x, they can buy a glove that has a bunch of res and life and stuff, and they could do that, but they go into the trade sites, and out of 1,000 listings, 950 of them are listed in divines, because 2 divines appears cheaper than 30 exalts. And you know, if you know, a new player is genuinely not going to be able to navigate the trade sites as much, like as well as an old player would be able to in PoE. So it's these like issues that don't really pop out to people instantly, but they create a lot of friction, a lot of bad vibes, just constantly. For me personally, I all my gear upgrades, it's been a bit weird to look for them, because I have to start by Exalt to see, hey, is there someone who's listing it by Exalts that has it cheaper, so I don't get screwed just buying something for 2 divines where I could have gotten it for 50x. And Yeah, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. On the topic of maps, there's still no map tab. That's insane. Like I've not been playing in red maps for too long, maybe like a day and a half now. Because I've been trying a bunch of builds. I've been sort of on and off in the game, been playing a bit of Marvel Rivals recently. And been also considering going back to do Mythic Plus. But I don't know. It's the game is fun. The game is fun. Like I'm enjoying PoE 2. It's because we've set such a high standard for GGG, right? If any other company made a game like this, it would be like insane. They have innovated so much. This game is going to be the killer of every ARPGs. But because it's GGG, because PoE 1 was such a behemoth of an ARPG in the genre itself, we have all of these high expectations for the game as well. And I understand it's an early access, but I also understand that it's possible that it's important to not blame everything on the game being in early access. Some issues happen, and they need to be fixed, I think. Like the trade side stuff defines have to be the correct ratio, in my opinion. You need to be able to replace the runes on your gear. You have to be able to do this. Like right now, I have lightning res, but I got better gear, and now my lightning res runes are wasted. 2 rune slots are just completely wasted. I would really love to get more ES here, because I've upgraded my gear, but no, for me to upgrade my gear, I have to change like everything again. Why can you not just replace runes? Sorry, I was getting a bit heated there. Yeah. It's these things, I'm sure a bunch of content creators have talked about this. I'm sure a bunch of people have addressed these issues. Speaking of issues, crafting sucks, quite honestly. Crafting sucks. Like it really, really, really does. I'm not a fan of crafting being, you get a base that's blue, you hit it with an essence, and if it hits the good tier, then you slam it a couple times. If it doesn't, then the base is gone. It's shit. You don't even have a scouring orb to try and go again from 0, because scour orbs don't exist. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's and there's no crafting bench as well. Like, man, these gloves were fixing my build. Well, fixing my res, more like. They were fixing my res, but I needed a bit of dex to equip them. And I had open suffixes on some item, I don't remember which one. And I could have just crafted like 20 dex or something, and it would have solved my problem. But there is no crafting bench. Why is there no crafting bench? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, was crafting bench really making the game too easy? Well, dude, some of these decisions, for me personally, I don't really understand where they come from. I really don't understand where they come from. Support gems as well. Because a friend of mine told me this before the game came out. It was like, you're only going to be able to use 1 support gem per character. You can't have a faster proj on two different abilities. And I said, what? Why? But that sounds like a stupid idea. And he was like, no. It's fine, because when that happens, it's fine because there's no more multipliers on the gems. And that's just a lie. Like, there's plenty of more multipliers on gem, plenty of them. And eventually, for me, like for example, now I'm playing Archmage, right? I would really, really like to have a separate gem. Like I have an empty gem slot here. I have 2 gems that I'm not using, 3, 4 even. Like, I would have loved to have like a lightning conduit set up to just get a shock on the boss with spark. Hit a lightning conduits, it would help promote these, 2 button, 3-4 billion button gameplay that they want. But unfortunately I can't, because all the good supports have already been used on one of them. And I don't know. It's not bad enough to really make builds bad themselves, but it's certainly weird, in my opinion. It's certainly quite weird. It's yeah. I know I said at the start of the video. I'm sorry. I've been rambling. I know I said at the start of the video that I've collected my thoughts and I was ready to start talking about this stuff. Like, I don't have a script or anything. I just try to do everything on one take, just yap a bit. But I've already rambled so much that I forgot what I was going to talk about. Yeah, we've talked a bit about a bunch of things. Oh yeah, something else as well that was really nice in PoE 1. You had a bunch of flexibility in your gearing because you could harvest swap resistances. Like, right now, if I have cold res on this one, and I had an upgrade that gave me cold res on some other piece of gear, I could just go and swap cold res here. Or like, if I found an upgrade that had some other kind of resistance, I could just spend a bit of currency and swap the resistance to the one that I need. And it wouldn't even be hard to implement, right? It could even be an omen. It could even be random if you want. It doesn't really matter. Just give us the ability to do it. Just give us the ability to be a bit more flexible in our gearing. Make stuff more interchangeable with each other. Give people the opportunity to upgrade their gear without too much opportunity cost. But maybe I'm just a spoiled PoE 1 baby that just played the game to do a lot of damage and never die, and maybe that's not what they want here, obviously, right? They want you to be as slow and as methodical as possible. Dodge roll out of a rare slamming you. But realistically speaking, most of the good builds right now don't really let the sparks out there, the lightning arrow Deadeyes out there, the stat stacking Pillar of the Caged God builds out there, the gas arrow guys out there. Like, they don't do any of this. They just blow up screens over and over. And the game is always going to favor this because the game has an economy, and the faster you farm and the more efficiently you farm, the better you will be at said economy. It's, well, unless you just sit in your hideout and trade. But I've been enjoying the game so much, genuinely, that sitting in my hideout and trading has not even crossed my mind for a second. And if I log in, if I'm playing PoE 2, I'm either genuinely AFK in my hideout, watching YouTube, watching some 2-hour documentary about, I don't know, submarines or whatever. I'm just in PoE, and I leave PoE open for trades. Oh yeah, speaking of trades as well, the new trade sound, dude, I can't hear it over YouTube. Like, dude, in PoE 1, the trade sound, the ting, dude, I could be doing anything, and if that pops up, dude, I'm wookage. I am wide awake. I am here to trade. But this new one, it's less loud, it's less, I don't know, intrusive to your eardrums, but can't really hear it that well. But that might be me. That might be a me issue. It probably is a me issue. Besides that, I don't know. The game itself is fun. It's very fun. It's Path of Exile, of course it's gonna be fun if you like PoE. If you like PoE, the game's really gonna be fun. It has its own moments of friction. It has its own moments of of tilt, of man, I'm dying to this mob that raises his shield and just reflects my sparks on me. This is annoying. Man, a siphoner just kills me. This is really annoying. But you know what? I think genuinely speaking, from a guy who played PoE 1 not too much, but also not too little, the game has more positives than negatives, for sure. And people say that this is the worst state the game is ever going to be in. I don't really believe that. They could very well add stuff, and all the stuff they add is just complete dog shit. So it is what it is. But the game itself right now is cool. It's a cool game. Play PoE 2, guys. It's very nice. Well, if you came here, then it's probably PoE 2. If you probably play PoE 2 if you're here. Yeah. let's talk about the build a bit. So this is a Archmage Spark. There is a bunch of people playing Archmage build. Captain Lance has been playing Archmage Spark since league start. Garada has switched his Fireball Blood Mage guy to Archmage as well. It feels like the end game of most spellcasters at the moment is just some variation of Archmage, and the reason for that is that Archmage is back to the way it was in its most broken state in PoE 1, where your mana scales everything. Your mana scales your damage, scales your defense, scales completely everything. So there is two nodes on the tree here. There is a node called Eldritch Battery that converts all your energy shield to mana, and there is a node called Mind Over Matter that makes all of your damage be taken from mana before life. All damage, mind you, everything. So I have 4.5k ES here and 4.4k mana. So I have about a 9,000 effective hit pool here, and I'm recouping 50% of my mana with Midnight's Braid. Speaking of which, I'm not actually sure if Midnight's Braid is any good. I'm genuinely. Recoup happens over 4 seconds, and there's no indicator on your life bar to see how much you're actually recouping. So it's like, is it even working? It probably is, but I don't know. I can't tell. I genuinely can't tell. It's it probably is working, it would be weird if it's not, but then again, who knows? But yeah, this is a Spark Archmage build. Archmage now it just adds a portion of your total mana as damage as extra lightning to your skills, so they get a giant chunk of added flat damage to them. It's kind of the same. It's the exact same as all the Archmage, right? But it doesn't raise the spell cost. So my Spark right now just costs 121 mana. I can sustain it just fine, right? Because I have a bunch of mana regen. But yeah. So you use Archmage, you want a lot of mana. Your ES also turns into mana. Like you can see here, this is a 739 ES chest. I have 4.4k mana. If I remove this, I go down to 3.3k. And all of this is because of Eldritch Battery. Here. Because it converts all of your energy shield to mana. And how are we getting energy shield if we have Eldritch Battery? With a unique called the Everlasting Gaze. So this line, gain 20% or 20 to 30% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield. This happens after every single calculation that happens throughout the whole character. So you see I have 4,500 ES here. If I remove this, I have zero ES. Absolutely zero ES. And don't worry, this might look scary to you guys, but this also means that even if you have one life, because you are Mind Over Matter, and 100% of damage is taken from mana before life, even if you have 0 ES on one life, you are not gonna die if monsters hit you, because they take damage out of your mana. See this? So mana regen is essentially life regen for you. So if you have 800 or 700 mana regen, that's essentially life regen in some way. I am foreseeing a nerf coming to Archmage because it's genuinely a bit too strong right now, right? But I feel like okay, maybe not a nerf to Archmage, a nerf to Eldritch Battery, but I feel like if they're going to nerf Energy Shield, then the thing that they will most likely be nerfing is going to be the Grim Feast ES overleech, not overleech, ES overflow, because that's the most extreme use of Energy Shield right now. But they've mostly been targeting builds that are doing a bit too much damage, and not builds that are, tanky and unkillable. Not that this build is unkillable; it's tanky for sure. But the actually unkillable ES builds are the ones that are using Grim Feast and go into high 20,000s and 30,000s of ES. There's also life-based builds that are quite tanky. I know one mana left is playing a block Surrender Titan guy. He has like 4,000 life or something. Block and just recovers HP on block. He can just sit in tier 15s, get in hits, and just never dies. That's also pretty cool. But yeah, the ceiling on the ES characters is much higher than the ceiling on life characters. But yeah, Archmage Spark, the name of the game is mana. Every single piece of gear has mana. 170 mana here, 100 mana here, 100 mana, 169 mana. You want mana on essentially every single piece of gear. Breach rings are very high value. The mana modifiers can the maximum quality is 50% is an insane line. This ring had like what 173 mana, and now it has 259. That's almost 80 mana extra just from quality. And this isn't even a good breach ring. Like this could go much higher, much higher. And then there is a belt called Ingenuity that rolls up to 80% increased effects from the rings, and you start to see some very interesting numbers. But yeah, the name of the game is mana and energy shield. Mana, energy shield everywhere you go. You know, my helmet is ES, has mana, an ES chest, high ES chest. Int is also quite good if you can get a bunch of int, because int is also mana. I believe so. I'm not yapping, right? Yeah, +2 mana per 1 int, yeah. +2 mana per 1 int. So int is also good. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you played an Archmage build before, the name of the game is just mana. You want mana on everything. You are a mana stacker. You are the mana guy. You get mana to get more damage, get mana to get tankier, and mana scales everything in your build. Besides that, since we are a spellcaster, we want plus levels to our gems. So we have +4 lightning spell skill gems on our wand. Wands can roll up to +5, but getting a +5 with other good mods is going to cost you an arm and a leg and maybe a bit more. So if you can have a wand that has +5 and other beneficial mods, then that's pretty good. Unironically, the thing that a build like this lacks the most, in my opinion, is percent damage. So you end up getting a bunch of flat damage from Archmage and stacking so much mana, but then you end up losing a bunch of percent damage. No, not losing, you end up missing a bunch of percent damage scaling, just generic percent increased damage. And there is a bunch of it in the tree, right? There's the small nodes here, there's some nodes here, generic percent increased spell damage on your wand as well. So don't ignore percent increased spell damage as well. And of course, since you are a caster, you want cast speed. There is this nodes here that go up to lightning quick. Their cast speed. I would be remiss if I did not tell you guys that currently the game is bugged and CI counts as both low life and full life. So if you really want to, you can pad to these nodes here, Final Barrage. This is also going to give you some cast speed. You could do proxy signs as well. It's you know, cast speed, percent damage, and mana. That's how you scale your damage. That's all there is to it, really. And your gear revolves around scaling all of this. For crafting stuff, I know in the last video I made, I sort of talked about how to craft certain pieces of gear on the Penance brand guy. But crafting in this game doesn't exist. You either you ID a good item or you don't. Like there's no in between, really. You can try to craft items, but it's a bit doomed in my opinion. I can do a little map here. I don't have like a lot of tier 15 maps because I don't. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. Do I have a regal orb? Let's do this tier 14. Freeze build up. Oh yeah, freeze build up. This is one thing that's also you should probably do that I'm not doing. The anoint on your neck should probably be icebreaker. This node right here, icebreaker. Gain 100% of max CS as additional freeze threshold. Because this build, the way ailments work is that they count the hit that's hitting you against your life. Not your life percentage, but your life number. That goes for hits and for freeze and stun. So if you have 1 life, then every single hit is going to stun you and it's going to freeze you. That's why nodes like these, like austerity measures, 20% of max ES has additional stun threshold. That's why these nodes are pretty good. And any node that gives you ES as stun threshold ends up being quite valuable for you. Or you could use a stun charm. Stun charm is also good. But I should probably use a freeze charm, honestly. Oh, what is this? Oh, let's just. Oh, yeah. Okay, yo, crafting. I'm gonna craft this charm. Holy. Okay. Oh, this is a good charm. Nice. That's very nice. But yeah. I don't have regals. This is a very bad video, guys. I'm just rambling. I'm just yapping, talking about the game as a whole, talking about my build, and you know, it's nice. It's a nice game. I'm still thoroughly enjoying Path of Exile, quite frankly. I play it quite a bit. I plan on playing it quite a bit. Monster Elirez. What does this do? Number of monster packs. Okay, this has more monster packs. So it's nice. Let's take one with the boss, maybe. This is not a good, like a big map, but I don't have enough big maps to show. But I've only been doing red maps for like a day or so. But this is how my character looks so far. This is like the mid game of the character. I don't have any insane ones. I still don't have ingenuity. I don't have a lot of things, but I'm finally in a place in the game where I'm playing and I'm getting currency. And speaking of currency, guys, if you can fit rarity in any piece of gear, rarity affects currency in PoE2. It's the most insane thing, really, because they removed quantity from PoE1 because of this, because you just warped the game. So you just felt like you really wanted rarity, and you even kind of shaped your gear around getting a bunch of rarity. But yeah, rarity affects every single drop in PoE2, so if you can get rarity, you probably should. But yeah, if you guys know Spark from PoE1, this is the same in PoE2. You go in, you're just sparking maps, kill a bunch of monsters, hopefully drop some loot. Like, I gotta say, it's very therapeutic playing Spark. Go in, just kill everything. Most of the mobs don't even get to you because the support gems in this game are actually so bad that you socketing faster proj and inspiration doesn't really feel bad. You socket faster proj and inspiration on your main links, and you're like, yeah, no, these are good links. I am making a good decision here. But at the same time, there's no proj speed on wands and stuff. The gearing in this game is not as advanced and as complex as PoE1, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, right? It's like, so you end up being, you don't feel like you can cook when you're crafting items, but it's probably, well, not probably, it definitely is easier to get into, right? It's a lot more straightforward. Speaking of gearing and stuff and scaling, conversions in this game work weird. So conversions in this game only work on the base damage. So for instance, if I try to get this node, right, gain 5% of lightning as extra cold damage to be able to chill enemies, it's not gonna work. I mean it will work, but it's not gonna work well, because the 5% only works on the base damage of Spark. It doesn't really take into account the added lightning damage that you get from Archmage. And Archmage is all of our damage. Like, we are a mana stacking Archmage guy. Archmage is what we do. But yeah. It's the same as in PoE1, a bunch of these systems, but a lot of these systems are like different enough that they're not really the same. But yeah. Periodically enrages and extra chaos damage. This is one nice thing about being CI. When you have the map mod, not map mod, map boss bonuses nodes on your atlas tree, they can roll these damages as extra chaos. And if you're CI, it doesn't do anything to you. Being CI is actually so comfy. It's quite nice. It's quite nice being CI. But yeah, this is the build. You're an Archmage mana stacker. You stack mana for defense, stack mana for offense. Go into maps, press spark, kill everything. Yeah, dude, this is what I mean, right? Like, that undead effects wasn't even, it was generally just a bunch of cosmetic undead effects, but it just tanks my performance so much. If you play CI and your ES becomes purple, it means that you're poisoned. I don't know why it does that. I don't know why it doesn't just turn green like life, but if you're poisoned as CI, it doesn't do anything to you because you're immune to chaos damage, and poison is chaos damage over time. But your ES turns purple, so... Just a side note, if you do end up doing this. Rarity... yeah, sure. Against enemies on full life. Yeah, whatever, bro. As if this is gonna make a difference in you killing me or not. What is this? Full life again? Are they just gonna keep critting me forever, dude? Holy. Oh, let's go. I probably did this expedition really badly, but I honestly don't really pay too much attention to doing expedition. When I did expedition back in PoE 1, I used the big boom one, the big boom node that just blows up everything in one go. So I never really paid too much attention. I know that that's not the good way to do expedition if you're trying to get money, but yeah. This is what I mean. Look, it's just blocking my spark. What the hell? Who's gonna win? Archmage, Spark, Stormweaver, or a mob with a shield? Probably a mob with a shield if he got to me. They would have crit me and they would have one-shot me. And they would have been able to do nothing but complain on the internet that the game is bad. When the game is not bad, it's just me. I did this to myself. But yeah. This is Archmage Spark. You haven't seen many drops because my filter hides like most of the drops, because most of the drops are pretty bad. Like, I know people enable bases to ID and, you know, Regal if it's good and stuff, but I genuinely just don't care enough. I'm gonna make money eventually just playing the game, right? So it's whatever. But yeah, Archmage Spark, it's a pretty good build, but would recommend. If you guys want an actual guide, dude, Captain Lance has been putting in so much work on his Archmage Spark guy. Actually amazing what he's been doing on his build and on mobilytics and everything. Not mobilytics, I think, no, max roll, not mobilytics, max roll. I don't know why I said mobilytics, dude. I've been playing too much League. On max roll, yeah. Very, very good build. Would recommend. It scales up to the end game really, really well. You can do some crazy stuff with this build. But yeah, if you want to start playing on this build, I would strongly recommend you have Everlasting Gaze Amulet. It's the amulet that gives you all of your ES essentially. Without it, you go to 0 ES. So yeah, this amulet and a bunch of mana. Bunch of plus level 2 skill gems, bunch of % spell damage and cast speed, % lightning damage as well, and you will be golden. You will have a good Archmage Spark character. But yeah, I've been yapping for a while. These were my thoughts, kinda. I'm gonna go out to get something to cook for lunch probably. And yeah, happy Christmas, everyone. Hope everyone is enjoying their holidays. If you're in your holidays playing PoE2, it's a very good game. You know, I the same way I stuck with it despite early on like dying so much and just tilting out of my mind to the game being weird. I stuck it out, and the game right now is fun. And in the same way, I believe that, you know, sticking it out with a game like this is only gonna be good. Side note, a bunch of MTX is not enabled. I don't know why. Like, they said that they will enable them soon, but a bunch of MTXs are just not enabled in PoE2, which is a bit odd. Because MTXs in PoE2, at least on this character selection screen, they look sick, dude. They look... Oh, look at this crab. Holy... This is me. Oh, if I do this, Mana Cypherers will fear me. That's all I'm saying. But no, the MTXs look really nice. I really wish they would enable more of them soon. Skill effects as well, dude. Imagine you had Celestial Spark with this. Oh shit, dude. It would look so nice. But yeah, this has been Archmage Spark and a bit of me yapping. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in a future video. Maybe I'm not the most consistent uploader. I sort of just upload to YouTube when I, you know, feel like talking about something. And yeah, hope everyone has a good day. Love you all. Take it easy. Bye bye.